Each country has its own famous monuments, sometimes listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and recognized for their each country has its own famous monuments, sometimes listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and recognized for their originality, their history, or simply for their offbeat side and the number of visitors they attract. We could thus simply cite the 7 wonders of the world, which could easily have their place in a top 30, but are they really also known as that of the general public? If listing the most famous monuments would be endless, this top 10 will allow you to learn more about the biggest architectural attractions around the planet. Known for their symbol and their key location, as well as the story they carry with them, the reputation and glory of these monuments is definitely no longer to be done. Number 10, the Colosseum in Rome. Located in downtown Rome, the Colosseum is one of the greatest works ever performed by Roman artisans. It is indeed an amphitheater with exceptional dimensions, frankly the largest ever built under the Roman Empire. It was used for many entertainment events mainly. For example, fighting of wild animals, gladiators and battle reenactments took place there regularly. It is also one of the places where death row inmates were executed in public. Today he still has a close link with Catholicism and the Pope, processions still being organized there every week. The Colosseum has a capacity of up to 75,000 spectators, and has taken more than 10 years to see its construction completed. It was after an earthquake that it was devastated after more than 500 years of use. It is more than 4 million visitors each year who go to Rome to visit this monument. Number 9, the Acropolis of Athens and its temples. The Acropolis of Athens is originally a citadel located in the center of present-day Athens, Greece. It is the place par excellence where the main vestiges of many temples dedicated to Greek deities are found, and more particularly to Athena, goddess of reason and military power. We find on this site the famous temple of the Parthenon and also the theater of Dionysus. This site is considered to be the real cradle of all of Western civilization, and reflects what can be called a model for adapting architecture to a perfectly natural environment at the base. Almost all the temples and monuments present on the Acropolis site are open to visit, making it one of the most famous monuments in the world, and one of the most visited for its history. Number 8, Christ the Redeemer. The statue of Christ the Redeemer is located in Brazil, and overlooks the city of Rio de Janeiro. Designed in collaboration between a Brazilian engineer and a French sculptor, it is one of the main representative structures of contemporary sacred art, but also one of the largest statues of Christ in the world. Its construction required 5 years of toil. Nowadays, a road and a cable car allow you to go to the foot of the statue overlooking the bay from the top of Mount Corcovado. It is the most visited cult monument in Brazil, and that is why it is recommended to do so well in advance if you wish to visit it. The site has more than 600,000 visitors a year, which is not surprising given that it is part of the prestigious list of the 7 wonders of the world. Number 7, Big Ben. Big Ben is the common name given to this famous bell tower around the world, but which actually also designates the entire Palace of Westminster. Located in London, this structure became known by the very particular sound of its bell due to a crack in its structure. If Big Ben is one of the most famous monuments in the world, it is on the other hand the British who can take advantage of its panorama, since its visit is reserved for residents only, and this after obtaining an authorization. Indeed, the palace being the seat of the British Parliament, it was necessary to regulate access to it. The bell was originally called the Big Bell, and the origin of his nickname Big Ben, now in the dark, remains vague. Number 6, the Machu Picchu. Also known as the City of Incas, Machu Picchu is a treasure trove of history located in Peru, in the eastern Cordillera of the Andes, more than 2,300 meters high. It was in 1440 that its construction began, and it is possible to admire the remains of the palace which was held there at the time. Classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Machu Picchu is also considered to be one of the 7 wonders of the world, its architectural prowess, and its vast Inca history continuing to amaze tourists every year. Its main function at the time would have been that of a sanctuary, but also the residence of the emperor in place, Pachacutec. Access to Machu Picchu can only be done by land, via hiking trails, some of which are even limited to the exclusive use of travel agencies. The growing number of visitors to the site tends to jeopardize both the state of the ruins, but also the natural environment that surrounds them. Number 5. The Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza, as well as those of Khafre and Mycerinos and the Sphinx which border them, are also part of the 7 wonders of the world. It is the tomb of Pharaoh Cheops, and its original architecture requiring more than 2 million blocks of stone has made it famous around the world. It is an ancient construction which has not yet revealed all its secrets, whether in relation to the labyrinths which are there, to the sarcophagi present inside, but also and above all in terms of the method used to build it more than 2,000 years before Jesus Christ. It is the most famous monument in Egypt, visited by many personalities, starting with Napoleon. Each year, more than 3 million tourists go there to contemplate the peaks of the desert pyramids and the architecture of the Sphinx. It has long been the most out-of-standard creation in humans, whether in terms of materials, height, but also weight. Number 4. The Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is the number 1 symbol of Paris, but also of France, and its romantic reputation in general. Nearly 7 million visitors are jostling there each year to admire the structure from the Champs de Mars, as well as the view it offers on the Parisian capital. As the name suggests, it was built by Gustave Eiffel on the occasion of the 1889 World Fair. It is more than 300 meters high, a record broken only in the mid-1900s. It has no less than 5 elevators and has become a real tourist attraction at the same time as a support for light shows, fireworks, etc. Erected in just 2 years and 2 months, its construction is a real feat, both architectural and technological. It is a symbol of the industrial era whose notoriety has not weakened from year to year. Number 3. The Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal is a major work located in Agra, India. It is a true symbol of architectural mastery, its symmetry being simply perfect, and it is also the very first tourist monument in the country. The Taj Mahal was originally a palace erected in over 25 years, made of marble, in honor of Arjuman Banu Begum, wife of the emperor. The many visitors to the Taj Mahal have caused a lot of damage to the structure of the building due to their influx. The Indian authorities were thus led to have to increase the price charged for his visit, in order to limit the breakage of this monument, victim of its success. Number 2. The Great Wall of China. Over 8,800 kilometers long according to the latest measures and visible from the moon according to legend, the Great Wall of China attracts more than 10 million visitors each year. It was built on an old 2,000-year-old wall, and aims to delimit the northern border of the country. It is, in terms of construction site itself, the largest construction ever carried out by humans. Built, destroyed and rebuilt several times, it is basically a military fortification created for defensive purposes. The Great Wall is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which launched the alert on its strong state of degradation due both to the passage of tourists and to the climatic conditions of which it is the victim. Number 1. The Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is erected on the island of Liberty Island in the United States, and more specifically at the entrance to the port of Manhattan. It is essential to get there to call on a specialized boat whose course is the only one that can take you there. Indeed, the docking rules on the island are very strict, and it is impossible to get there on your own. Visits are organized on the island not only to contemplate the statue itself, but also to visit the building which is located inside the base under the statue. The Statue of Liberty is originally a French construction, offered to the American people to seal the friendship between the two countries. Since 1984, it has been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Over time, it has become a true symbol of the fight against oppression, peace and freedom.